they
Yeah,
were
a human
living
being
human
is
beings.
called saint only after death and once in heaven. So once I go to heaven, I'll be a saint. Why?
Because that's not how it works.
Oh, but it just Google just told me that once
No,
I
Google.
die, I'll be and I'm in heaven.
No,
I will be a
Literally,
saint.
you
you
it
shot
has
her
to
down
do.
from heaven.
No, she's going to heaven, or
But I want to be an angel. I don't want to be a saint.
so be an angel now. Continue to live like an
Heaven.
angel now.
I am an angel.
Yeah, with your angel numbers every day of the week.
Now you're hating on my angel
You're the
numbers.
angel sent to remind me of all the times that I need to pay attention to. She's like, it must be a sign. Yes, no, it's a sign. Hi, everyone.
Welcome to Shut Up and Thrive, the podcast that will inspire you to live your best life.
3 best friends who have been growing, motivating, and inspiring each other.
I'm Vanilla. I bring the fun.
And this is Claudia, the passionate one.
And your girl Nair, sprinkling in the creativity.
When you listen to Shut Up and Thrive, it will remind you of your chats with your own BFFs.
Join in every week as we discuss all the things that make you want to shut up and thrive.
So, are you ready?
Let's get into the conversation.
Ooh, ooh. We're live.
Hey, hey, hey. Good afternoon.
Welcome to Shut Up and Thrive. Grand afternoon.
Grand afternoon, ladies. How are you?
Good,
Doing
good.
great.
How about you?
Doing great. Doing
Awesome.
good.
Are you excited about our topics today?
You guys said we're excited about our topics every day, all the time.
Yes.
Let's tell our audience what we are talking about today. So we will be diving into religion and spirituality.
Where's the sound effects? Dun, dun, dun.
So, what we think of religion versus spirituality, or
Spirituality, yeah. Are they the same? Are they not the same? It's like, what do you think?
I think in every religion there's some sort of spirituality involved.
Mhm.
But there is that separation between practices, spiritual practices that have nothing to do with any particular religion. But yeah, I think spirituality is something that comes from not necessarily just believing in science, but comes from your soul, and we all have a soul, and I'm sure every religion believes that, right? So I don't know.
Yeah. It's interesting because it's our views, and then I'm pretty sure there was like stuff on the books that we can read for days about this topic. But today we're not really going to get into the book. We're just going to talk about what we ourselves, our experiences, our background with religion and spirituality. So for our listeners, we might have a book at the end. I don't know. I don't think I have any. But I thought it was an interesting conversation for us to talk about. So what is religion? Come on.
Good question.
Google, tell us.
Religion is, based on Oxford languages, it's a noun, the belief in and worship of a superhuman controlling power, especially a personal god or gods. Ooh, I don't know about that. Superhuman and controlling and power, like all that.
Yeah, that's
scary.
superior forces. That's the
controlling is
Jesus,
a little
the
controlling.
word.
Yeah, controlling. There are other very similar definitions, such as a particular system or faith and worship. Another definition is a pursuit or interest in which someone ascribes supreme importance. Yeah, so that's the Google version of the definition of a religion. What about spirituality definition? Spirituality is defined as the quality of being concerned with the human spirit or soul as opposed to material or physical things. Okay, so that's interesting. So that's more around the spirit and the soul. That's the main focus, whereas religion is more
human power.
like worship, as kind of for lack of a better word, worshiping a god or gods or a higher
Mhm.
power, right?
Yeah, worshiping, believing, following, for example, the Bible, right? Biblical teachings. There's different religions that follow their Bible, and their Bible have different, not different, but they have their own biblical teaching scriptures, like they use those words that
Mhm.
they follow by. So that's spirituality. And then versus, I mean, that's religion. And then
Religion.
versus spirituality, that it's like you just said, spirit and your soul. So I think it's more of an internal and knowing, well, me knowing that there's the universe itself being the God, I would
Mhm.
say,
A
in
higher
this
power.
higher power. And yeah.
It's complicated, isn't it?
Yeah, very complicated. So I also found this here where, Google asks or somebody asks, people also ask, what are
Mhm.
examples of spirituality? So signs of spirituality are asking deep questions about topics such as suffering and what happens after death, deepening connections with other people, experiencing compassion and empathy for others, experiencing feelings of interconnectedness, feeling in of awe and wonder. So,
And
I-
this was spirituality, right?
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, signs
Okay.
of spirituality. So to me, it's spirituality is more like a sort of
Feeling.
abstract in a way, a sense of adding meaning to our lives, searching deeper. How do we all connect with each other? And I think religion kind of gives people a way of reaching spirituality. You know what I mean? Like it helps you to get to that place that spirituality takes you to.
By following
Certain
different
religion.
certain
Religion.
religions. So yeah, spirituality, I think what you said was you said a couple of times feeling, right? There's a
Asking deep questions,
yeah.
deepening connect,
So
experiencing
like there's a
compassion.
science behind it all. Spirituality is more tied to
You
science.
think so?
Spirituality would be more tied to a science, different practices, and versus religion, which is you follow the
Doctrine, isn't it
doc.
doctrine?
Well, there's doctrine, then there's religion. For
What's the
example,
difference?
I was raised in doctrine, which is called Christian rationalism. Right? We don't real quick. We don't believe in Adam and Eve. That's how the world started, for example. But we believe in Jesus Christ. Right? We feel that our spirit, our soul reincarnates, that when you live on planet earth you came here to fulfill your purpose, to enrich your spirit, right, or your soul. What you do on this planet earth, you should do it consciously, knowing that you have leave it beat you, I don't know how to say that in English. You have almost like you're an open book to create and learn. You're here to do better, right? So we don't believe in the Bible, we don't believe in Adam and Eve, and we do not call it a religion. It's not a religion, it's a doctrine. So there's definitely separation between that. It is called a Christian rationalism. It's a Christian doctrine because we believe in Jesus Christ. But
Mhm.
what separates us from that religion, like Catholic, for example, is that they believe in Jesus Christ. They also believe in the Bible. They believe in Adam and Eve, and that's how we came about. When my doctrine, we believe it was evolution. Right? So that's the science that I'm trying to explain here. And then your soul, of course, spirituality is when you live to, since our bodies are temple, so we can be the best we can be, so we can enrich our souls and our spirit, right? Everything is one. When you really think about it, you can't have a great soul without taking care of your body, because just like a car, you can't drive far if your car is not maintained and it needs oil and all that stuff. So
Right.
the soul being the soul, the spirit being the most focused when it comes to to spirituality, and then following certain disciplines and like teachings, like biblical teachings, when it comes to a religion. Am I
So,
confusing you
okay.
guys yet? I'm trying to
No,
confuse
it's
you
not.
guys.
It's not. But then my question is, what makes it different from a religion? Like, why is it like you're still following certain beliefs? You still have certain beliefs. You still have certain practices. To
Yeah,
me,
but
and
they are rational beliefs. For example, they're not to believe like, oh, like I said, we don't believe, for example, again, Adam and Eve, which is we don't follow the Bible. We don't read the Bible. We
Right,
don't.
but other
Not that we
religions,
say those stories didn't. Of course, we don't say
right,
like
but
talks about
other,
Jesus. What do you mean then? Because yeah, we do believe in Jesus,
yeah.
but we see Jesus as an enlightened spirit. He was a human being, yes, and when he passed away, his soul was so enlightened that he wouldn't reincarnate again. You know what I mean? So he there will no be like his soul had reached the level of no more reincarnations. Okay,
Mhm.
that's what I.
But do you believe that Jesus resurrected?
No, exactly. We don't believe that. Not that we don't believe. We don't follow the stories of the Bible. Jesus was a
Right.
man. Yes, Jesus died. They crucifix him and all that. Probably, but I don't
But
believe that he was alright. If he did resurrect as a soul, maybe I
right.
don't know. I
So
don't read the
you're
Bible, so I don't know if that's what they're
yeah.
saying. So they're
So
telling me
you're
what they're saying.
saying that you reincarnate because you haven't fulfilled your soul's purpose.
You incarnate to become a more enlightened soul.
Right. So
Yeah.
you're still on your journey to enlightenment.
Yes.
If you pass away from this life and your soul didn't feel like that life
Yes.
enlightened you, you would take on another life. But Jesus, because he was, again, the way
The
he
Son
lived
of
his
God.
life was so beyond all of us, right? That he didn't need to reincarnate.
Correct.
He just became a soul again or became as one with
Correct.
the universe and God.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, all that's interesting to me. I guess I'll say my perspective. So I grew up kind of, I guess, in like a Catholic environment, but we didn't really practice it when I was younger. So when I was young, like my mom and my aunts were like immigrating to the States. And from what I remember when I was young, we weren't really that into religion, but we just were Catholic, right? As I got older, that's when they got more into religion, going to church every week, just doing all that stuff. But I was already like college and beyond.
Okay.
So to me, like that wasn't instilled in me when I was young. So I always grew up like knowing about religion and God and Jesus and all that stuff. Like we would go to church like for Easter and obviously we celebrated Christmas and all those things. But it wasn't like I was raised in the church, right? So I always grew up with a faith in God. I knew that a God existed and all that stuff. But to me, I guess I don't know because I really identified with that religion. I don't call myself a Catholic. I don't call myself any religion. Not to say, and I've said this on previous podcasts, just because I don't identify with that religion or other religions, I don't bash religion. Like it's not that I am not a fan of them. Like for me personally, that just wasn't how I was raised. And I think a lot of the times people are in a religion because that's just how they were raised. I know there are some that when they get older, they join certain religions because that's their calling or they switch religions, which is again amazing. To me, I view religion and spirituality kind of in the same way because ultimately they guide us to what it is we want, right? It's like we want to feel fulfilled, we want to feel like our time here is worth something, we want to get to that enlightenment. And both can get you there. You know what I mean? I think I'm more spiritual and I say spiritual because I don't know what else to call it.
Mm.
Right? Because it's
Mhm.
not a religion, but I do believe in God. I believe in, the soul. I believe in all that stuff. But I'm also like very aware of other religions in terms of like the Buddhist religion. Like I'm kind of drawn to that a little bit with their practices and meditation, yoga, and all that stuff. And then the other religions, it's just because I'm not educated in them enough to say I can identify or I can pull from them or not. So that's on me for not putting in the work to kind of like research those religions. And I think because for instance, Buddhist religion is more I guess like more like people try to make it more mainstream. Like yoga is kind of celebrated everywhere
Nowadays, yeah,
nowadays,
nowadays,
right?
yeah,
It's
yeah.
more mainstream so you know more about it whereas like the Muslim religion, for instance. Like I don't know if you guys know anything about the Muslim religion.
No, as far as no meat or alcohol, I think so.
Yeah, like they don't eat pork, they don't drink,
Certain things, yeah.
Mhm.
just like the basic stuff, but I'm pretty sure they have like really great stories and practices that they do. that could really fulfill someone, you know what I mean? And I feel like I'm always like on a journey, like because I'm kind of like this person that doesn't really identify one way or another. Whatever I learn, I take from it, you know?
Kind
Because,
of like that, but I still see you more of like a spiritual person than a religious person. Just
no,
simple fact
definitely.
that religious, they're very they have their practical ways of each religion of doing certain things, believing certain things. Even though there's a lot of different religions, either their Bibles or their books have been changed to fit
T-
their beliefs, I guess, their ways. Because like there's
Right.
so
And
many
that's,
religions that seems to be like Catholic, but they're not Catholic, or they're just
mhm.
different types of Catholic religion.
And again, I don't want to come across like I'm bashing religion, but like for instance, the Bible, it's up for interpretation. To be honest, like I can't say I've sat down and read the Bible, but when I have tried, it's hard to understand. And people will be like, "Oh, you have to be in the right mindset," and all these things. But I don't know if either of you have read the Bible, but it is not easy to read.
Mm-mm, it's
I've read the
not.
Bible a lot, and it does become way easier to read once you get it.
Right?
You just have to read the numbers, go back. Like, so I have read it a lot because I've worked a lot with Catholic clients, and that was their wish at the moment. Can we read the Bible? I was like, oh,
Yeah.
sure, it's a great
Mhm.
book, right? And
Mhm.
I think I've
Mhm.
had a class or two in college that the Bible was a book to read. I'm saying, I'm sure from what I've read, it is a beautiful book with beautiful
Stories,
Pictures.
stories, or yeah,
messages, but to
they have
me,
their
I still
teachings, their
feel like
scriptures to read.
I still
So
feel like it's up for interpretation, right? So, and then the other thing too is how old is that book? Keep in mind, every time you tell a story to someone, and that other person goes and tells a story to someone else, and that person tells a story to someone else, that story changes. So, how do you know the stories that you're like being told or that's being written is exactly what happened, or what the people were saying thousands of years ago? You know what I mean? And
mhm.
then again, how many languages has that Bible been translated to? And
Translated to.
there are words in certain languages that cannot translate to other languages. So how can you take that feeling or that expression in this culture, in this language, and replicate it in this other culture or language? You cannot. So to me, that I feel like there's a lot of like each person's going to interpret it their own way, and there's nothing wrong with that either. But I'm just saying, like, it's just hard for me to follow someone like to the T.
Mhm.
This is
This
my
is the
only
this is the
way.
Bible I follow.
Right,
This
like
is
I
the book that
cannot
I
just
follow.
right, like I cannot just read books from one author. Like you have to read other things too to kind of get different perspective, and then you yourself form that opinion for how it affects you and how you want to live your life. And that's the only reason why I will not follow one particular religion. And I feel like if you're in a religion, like you have to follow that religion. If you don't, then what's the point?
But what is following a religion? Because a lot of people say, "Yes, I am Catholic," but they'll
Don't follow the
go
religion.
Then
yeah.
you're not. That's the thing. Like if you're gonna be Catholic, then
Mhm.
truly be Catholic.
But then
Don't
again,
they
you might
start
somebody might
teaching
say, "Oh,
you?
I'm a spiritual person," but then do stuff that maybe a spiritual person shouldn't do too.
But what that's and then that's where the
What is
question comes
that?
in. What is
Yeah.
spirituality?
Yeah.
What does it mean to be a spiritual person?
And I think it's really hard, like up to like the Bible you said is up to interpretation, even the meaning of spirituality, because again, spirituality is when you can, I want to use the word worship different things. For example, we have
So is
for example,
religion.
there's Native Americans, for example, that worship like fire, right? And the
The
water.
elements.
Yeah. So there's there's still that's still spirituality. But when you worship Jesus Christ, for example, also in a Catholic religion, that's still spirituality, right?
Yeah, I mean, we're not disputing that
Mhm,
spirituality is not in religion, because that's
mhm.
definitely in religion. But why, like, what is religion? Like, you know what I mean? Like, why does it have to be religion? Why can't it just be a spirituality, a way, you know what I mean? And I've seen things, I've seen movies, I've read books that don't say good things about spirituality. I mean,
Hmm,
sorry, I said it wrong.
Religion.
religion.
I've seen, yeah, movies and read books that don't, and heard people talk about religion in a negative way. Like
Mhm.
when it comes down to it, religion is a man-made thing. And some people believe anything that's man-made can't be good, right? But, you can kind of compare it to government. And we know the government is not always a good thing too, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's what kind of separates spirituality from religion is because it's an organized thing. It has
Mhm.
rules, it has things that you have to do where spirituality is more open, it's more free, it's more like
You're not bound
fluid, no
to,
Mhm.
boundaries, you know
yeah,
what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
that is true. Because I can say that I understand what Naya is saying. Grew up in the Catholic home since I was a kid, went to church, did, all of the stuff that you do when you go to a Catholic church. Separated when I came to the United States for a long time. Went back towards in the teenage years where you're questioning religion, you're questioning, and you're not questioning only, but you're getting information about other religion. So you're curious now and you want to know about that. So you're like, wait a minute, I like that better than this that the Bible says, like, so it's a touchy conversation because some other people are so like, no, you're a Catholic and that's it. That's what you were
Yeah.
raised as. And I'm like,
Mhm.
no, I honestly believe in God. I honestly do believe that Jesus came to the earth and, went back, resurrected. I believe that. But I also believe in Buddhism stuff, and I also could connect with the spirituality world. I mean, I think I connect a lot more with the spirituality world than religion to be followed. So I'm not 100% Catholic because I question the Bible. And some people say, how dare you question the Bible? You're not supposed to question anything. You're supposed to do what you're supposed to told. And I'm like, okay, but we're supposed to question. If you don't have a question about something that's being told to you, then you're not using your mind. You're not exploring.
Then it's a cult. You know
Exactly.
what I mean? Like, are you trying to say it's a cult?
There are cults that are based on the Bible. I've seen movies, and there are many things, like you said, it's interpretation. If fits you at that moment, then you're going to interpret that to be whatever you want, whatever you read. And it could be any book, actually. It doesn't have to be just the Bible. It could be any book, depending on the state of mind that you're in. What you interpret from that book could not be what the writer was trying to say. So every person has their own interpretation. You might come aligned with other people that interpret the same way as you do, and that forms that connection. But I think religion way back then was an escape for a lot of things that were going on, and people just listened to what was being fed to them and didn't question. That's my personal opinion for when
So
religion started.
so when you say that, like it makes me think of like this new generation and how things are nowadays. Like, do you think religion is as important as maybe it was back in the day, 100, 200 years ago?
I don't think so. Our younger generations question everything. They're worse than us.
And that's bad to question. She said they're worse than
No, it's
us.
not it's
The
not a
amount
bad
of
thing, but, like,
questions.
for the
They,
mind, for the
yeah.
people who, want you to follow what is being fed to you, the younger generations are questioning more than what we
What
are.
we did, yeah.
So, religion to them, I think, is not what it was to us, and it wasn't for the generation before us. They don't even think of religion
So, do
as
you think that that's having a positive or negative impact?
I think it's positive.
I think everything that is evolving is positive, and especially when you started, you mentioned how government and religion kind of ties, or it might be good, it might not be good. And then I think if we go back to some religions, it was actually made to be able to control a massive amount of people, right, and all that.
Mhm.
So ain't nobody controlling nobody right now, especially our babies. So it's moving, it's evolving in a more positive way, in a free will, more of a free will that we have now to choose our
But then
paths and our beliefs.
some people might argue that if you don't have organization, which religion gives you, right? Religion, government, all that gives you that organization, gives you some type of uniformity among people, then everyone's just going to do whatever they want. Then doesn't that kind of separate us, or do you think that helps bring us together more.
I think it helps bring together. I don't think there's like separation if we don't follow like order and thing. I think if people were more freely to choose what they believe and they practice, as long as it's positive, and also as long as you're believing that there is a greater force out there, that things will be positive
Okay.
and not being, like we're not
Okay.
worship. Oh,
If there is no greater force,
of course there
there's
is.
there's people who believe there isn't though.
As long as,
They
like I said,
believe
as
in
long as you
science.
believe that well, they don't believe there's nothing out there. Is that what you're saying? Or they
Evolution.
believe that, what are you saying? I'm gonna let you explain. What are you saying?
I'm bringing us back to that atheist conversation. That's what I'm saying.
So, but
They
that
don't
is still a greater force.
know.
It's just being, well, atheists don't worship the devil, right? That's not what
No, no,
they
they
do.
don't
Okay.
believe in
They don't believe
anything
in anything.
spirituality. There's
Oh,
no
okay.
such thing as spirituality.
Hmm.
Do they believe in the universe?
Well, in terms of like planets and galaxies and things like that, like scientific things, yes, they
Mhm.
believe in that.
So they believe there's, in force and matter, but
Mhm.
not of like a god
Right.
or something. Okay. But I would like to ask him, explain that force to me. What is that force? Where is it coming from? Is it the elements? Okay, that's fine. But where is it coming from? 'Cause in all reality, we're all just one. We're all just entwined. We're the
Are
universe,
we?
a little speck in the universe, if you ask me,
We
when it
are a
comes to
speck.
our
That's
planet
true.
Earth.
We are a speck, but are we one? Are we all entwined? Are we a collective? Are we the parts of a whole? What is it? The sum of a parts of a whole.
Then, as people,
As
or
everything. Like, are you one
I'd
with
like
that
to
tree?
believe one. Yes, I'd like to believe that
Right?
we are
Are
all
you and
one.
that tree the same thing ultimately?
Ultimately, yes, we are all energy, and that's what we are, energy in different matter forces. Yes, we're all energy. From the little stone to the biggest, oldest tree that bleeds to a human being, we are all one. We are all the same. We are all made up, at least we are all made up of energy. Get it? I'm like, you get it? You thriving? You don't believe it? You want me to explain more? I don't know. I didn't do my homework. I should have done my homework on this topic because it is very interesting and intriguing. But
It
yeah, I
is.
never really went and was like, I want to know real definition of religion or spirituality. I just know how I was brought up. I know I was not brought up religious, so maybe that's why I never really went deep into looking into it. But I was brought up to always know that there is a higher force, there's a superior force, and that we are, everything is energy, from our thoughts all the way to the dirt on the ground.
Would you ever consider joining a religion?
Consider joining one to
Yeah.
do what? For
To
what reason? For
learn, to immerse yourself in it and, just
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
like
Oh, exact. Okay, now I'm thinking now because remember, I'm always like, Buddhism. It's not a religion. Remember, I was telling you that,
mhm, mhm,
or Hinduism.
Hinduism.
It's
Mhm.
not a religion, but you schooled me. I was like, no, they
Well,
are.
I
They're just
questioned
different.
you because I thought
Yeah.
they were, so I was not
Because
sure
I always
either.
was like, when I think religion, I was like Catholic, the Bible. That's like religion. Like a religious person, the person who carries their Bible and walks and follows their Bible. But my doctrine has many books that has been written by living men. I'm sure the Bible was written by living men, but it has stories that were told by
Well, who
prophets.
was the Bible? Claudia, do you know who the Bible's written by?
Uh,
Okay, like Moses and like all of them, were they people too?
Of course, they were people too.
yes,
The
they were
Were they
people.
disciples,
angels? Okay, they were
they
angels
were
and like
people.
In
No,
the angels are mostly are people
everybody in
who
the book
pass. They
right.
become
was
angels and they've
people.
done something great on the planet
Was
Earth.
Moses an angel?
He,
The
He
no,
wasn't
saints,
an
the saints
angel.
were
saint.
angels, right?
Yeah,
Those that are saints. Hey, look, this is
yeah,
a learning opportunity for me
yeah.
too.
Saints. Okay.
A
But
saint
yeah,
is an angel, right?
yeah. San Paulo, San
That's
Miguel,
who the
like
angels
those,
They're
are.
not
they
angels, they're
become
saints.
they become
Okay, what's the
Angels
saints.
are
difference between
angels.
an angel and a saint?
I think
Let's ask
angels,
Google.
Yeah,
I don't know. Google, I think, is going to tell you that angels were never incarnated into a physical body, but saints
they,
can be,
Because
were.
the devil was an angel, right? So yeah, I think you're right, Vanilla. Because the devil was
Think.
an angel.
Mm-hmm. I
What?
The devil wasn't. Yeah, I think he
Yeah, the
was.
devil was an
yeah. You're
angel.
right.
He
He
was
used
the
to
angel
fall
who
in the
didn't follow directions, or
yeah,
didn't
he used
And
do
to
he got
his.
fall in
sent down to Earth.
oh, somebody asked this question before because it pops up.
What question?
Difference between a saint and an angel. It can be confusing, but look at it this way. Angels are spirits in heaven and saints are human beings in heaven. Oh God. Here we go.
Yeah, that's what I meant. No, okay. For example, Saint Mother Teresa. She was named a saint, right? After Mother Teresa.
I don't think
Ask
so.
Google. No, I'm just kidding.
No,
Forget
I
Google.
don't
I
think
don't
so.
think
But
no,
okay,
I
She
don't
this
was
think
like
no.
we say,
No,
many
she
of these.
wasn't. She
Well,
was
she
not.
was
She
not
was
she
okay.
hasn't.
Mother
She
Teresa
hasn't.
was not recently. She lived
Oh,
very
I
recently.
thought she
Mhm.
was made a saint. Well, there
Yeah.
has been people obviously saints.
Editing Nair here, interjecting today's lovely podcast episode to ask for your forgiveness. Please excuse our ignorance. After further research, we learned that Mother Teresa was indeed named a saint in 2016. Now back to regularly scheduled programming.
They
Yeah,
were
a human
living
being
human
is
beings.
called saint only after death and once in heaven. So once I go to heaven, I'll be a saint.
No,
Why?
because that's not how it works.
Oh, but it just Google just told me that once
No,
I
Google.
die, I'll be and I'm in heaven,
No,
I will be a
Literally,
you
you
it
shot her
has to
down
do.
from heaven.
No, she's going to heaven or
heaven.
wherever
I
heaven
am in
is.
heaven. I'm always in heaven. I
Good.
will never leave
So,
heaven.
so
You're not gonna
she's
be called a
at
saint.
no, but a saint it's has to do with how you live. For example, Jesus Christ, he wasn't a normal human being that came to this earth to
It was God's only
work
son.
hard. Yeah, he actually he had spiritual powers. He could heal, he could feel, he was enlightened, you know what I mean? So definitely a god. He was a god because he was really elevated. And then there's angels. I mean, then there's saints that are men who did great stuff on this planet Earth, and then they're made into saints by other human beings that are still living on Earth.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no.
So,
That makes
but I
sense.
want to know though what angels are. Were
Angels
angels
are
ever
spirits in
alive?
heaven.
Were they ever alive?
No.
Angels?
No.
Oh. So how do they come about?
Read the
They're
Bible, okay?
gods.
Read the Bible.
They're
I'm just
gods,
gonna
people.
when we're done chatting, I'm just gonna ask Google.
I'm asking as we're talking because I'm learning too. All angels are in human form with a spiritual body
And our sisters are
and
just
are not
deep
just
in
mine.
research.
Yeah, so takeaway for our audience, let us know angels.
The difference.
Because we now we understand saints. Okay, we get a saint, but ultimately angels are the spirits in heaven.
But how did they come
How
about?
they
Yeah.
become
They want a body, so they become a human, and then when you die, you go back to being the angel that you are.
Did you just make that up? You did. I knew it. I was like, they ask for a body and then they die and then
Not
they
they
become
ask you want to. Okay, why do we come to Earth?
to elevate our soul, to enlighten, to fulfill,
That's
always
what
to
you
fulfill a
believe.
purpose, always to fulfill a purpose in any reincarnation. You would fulfill your purpose. Like you never die and be like, oh, I never fulfilled my purpose. No, but you reincarnate to do better.
Continue
Where you
your
did to
But why do we even want to be human? Because again, remember, the universe is
because
so
it's the
vast.
best thing to be.
Why?
Because humans, I think we have the opportunity to learn, right? We are super intelligent. We have the opportunity to think and feel, and we have choice, and we have planet Earth. We have choice between faith and not and everything.
Yeah, I
Whether
mean, I believe like a soul is everything, right? But a soul is a soul, it's a spirit. It's not a body. Like there's certain things that the body can experience that a soul cannot. So you take on a body to have that physical experience, that touching another person, that feeling the sun and like
reading,
like I said,
writing, yeah, everything.
yeah. Is Claudia reading something?
Yeah,
She
she
frozen.
like,
She's like,
I'm
is she
reading.
frozen?
I'm
no,
fascinated by
today
this
is research
angel
day.
thing.
Okay.
I'm just looking. Well, it
Tell us.
gave an example
Share what
like
you learned.
angels are all human, like children. Like they have an example. All children who die not only enter heaven but eventually become angels.
Say what? They don't
See,
enter
Vanilla
heaven?
tried to hate on my definition,
No,
but
I
Yeah.
didn't
she
try to hate.
answered it.
All I said
You
was
said you made that up.
I think you
They're
made
Can I
it
first
up.
thrive? Can I thrive?
You thriving.
one angel in heaven
But I'm
who
still trying to
first did
understand.
not live
Claudia's still trying to understand
in
it.
material body. Okay, I'm just trying to understand it too because
So what?
I
Okay,
I don't
repeat the
remember
definition
anybody
about
telling me this
angels
in church,
again.
like, what is angels? Like, I don't remember
Okay.
that conversation, like, this is an angel and this is a saint. I have never had probably
So
had when
was
I was
a
younger.
so is an angel a soul that never did anything wrong ever, like a new baby born and just died, and he's an angel
It
because he didn't even live?
it could be, but it's been into
We're getting
human heart.
ourselves in so much trouble right here
Ah!
with this episode.
Oh my
Could
god.
be. I mean, like, we believe that when a child is innocent. So if a
Oh,
child does
are
die,
angels able to take in form in a body?
yeah.
But
Yes,
then,
that's what I'm saying.
that's
That's the
okay
thing.
That's why
because
I said we're
we
all
can always call
angels.
on our angels to help us, so they're always amongst us, helping us. But they don't have to take a physical form. They're
Yeah,
just there,
Right.
right?
They
right.
are,
But they
yes,
probably
they're
could
spirits in heaven. And like, okay,
Mm.
you really hated on my
in the
definition. And now
universe.
what you guys are
Where's
saying is
heaven? Where's
exactly
heaven?
what I
Where's
said.
heaven? You said you
And
are in
to our,
heaven, so
to our listeners, please rewind and hear what I said, and then fast forward to this part and hear what she's saying.
no, I'm
She's quick
understanding.
on
We're
telling you no
thriving. We're
today.
we're under. I didn't tell her no. I
Like
couldn't
you're
under
making
which
up that
whatever she
definition.
was, whatever her definition I heard she saying. I was like, what? What are you saying, girl? No, but now that you
But now
read
it's
the
making
thing,
sense,
it's
right?
making sense in a
Ah,
way. But I'm
there
still
you go.
confused
Yeah, it's
Yeah, it
very
is very
confusing. I'm so
confusing.
confused too
because
because
I'm
now I'm like,
still
a saint does all these great things as a human, and that's what makes them a saint. So is a saint like you know how in like the army you have different rankings? So is a saint above an angel because they came and was
No,
this great person?
I don't believe that. I mean, I don't know about
I'm not
before, but I
saying it.
don't
I
believe
I'm
that.
just
think,
asking the
special,
question.
first of all, when we talk about saints, it's not every religion that has saints.
Right. We're just
Okay,
talking one
so the
specific.
specific religions that have saints, these people like Mother Teresa did amazing things while they were alive that a very saintly person would do, is capable of doing.
That had an
I
impact
think
on other lives in the world. It makes sense.
yes,
Perfect
to
sense.
that great it's a big extent. It's not just, I'm a billionaire and I build
Yeah,
5
no.
hospitals, it's
Yeah.
actually doing, like, I think these people almost give away as much possible material things that they could possibly give away and to just give their
Like the
time,
closest you
soul.
can get to Jesus, that's what a saint did.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that's the closest you'll probably get to being Jesus Christ is saint.
I googled what's an angel. An angel is a song by I was like, no, no, no.
Google said you wrong.
Everything's music.
Oh, religion and spirituality. Is it challenging? Yes, I agree. I think it's so
It's
challenging.
not challenging. It's just there's so much there. Like it's so meaty. Like there's so much that you can discuss, so much that you can interpret, so much that you can believe. You know what I mean? It's just a lot. And I
And
think
watch how
that's
much we're gonna learn after we finish talking, how much this information is just gonna be pouring in, and we're just gonna be like, oh my god, look what I learned all about spirituality and religion. There is so much, Naya. Sorry for cutting you off, but yeah.
yeah, but like Google is a hater. Okay, what is the true meaning of an angel? A messenger of God. An angel is a messenger of God, characterized by having human form with wings
Okay.
and a halo. Like you're giving me surface level
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
definition.
how does an angel come about?
It's a messenger from God. It just
Yeah, but how
God
did they
sends you a
did
message
God
through an
make
angel. Angel are
oh,
spirits.
okay.
So heaven is full of spirits,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking spirits that have been human, spirits that don't want to be human, but is chilling up in heaven. Like I'm enjoying being a spirit. Like I don't really want to go
Mm-hmm.
mess with them crazy humans right now. I'm chilling. But God's like, yo, I need you to go send this person a message. The angel will come down and give you your message.
An
Right. Like it's
angel is a supernatural spiritual being who, according to various religions, is God's servant, like what
Mhm.
Naya is saying. Abrahamic religions, types of religions that I don't know about, but often depict angels as benevolent, celestial intermediaries between God and humanity. Other
Yeah.
roles include protector, guides for humans, servants of God. All right. I guess I get that, but I just want to know how do they come about? Like we think we know how saints come about, right? But how
Yeah,
do
I know what you're saying.
so God has all
They just
these.
exist.
God created them.
Just
Could
like
it
the trees
be?
exist, the
Could
angels
Yeah,
it?
like
exist.
he
I think,
created
yeah,
us. The belief that God created us is the same thing as
yeah.
him creating his people in his realm, that he
All
can
right.
use them when he needs them.
Supernatural. They're like
Yeah.
aliens and
Claudia needs you right
different.
now. I'm sending you down to be her
Okay.
angel. Or like
Yeah.
you need, like we have, I believe I have an angel on my either side, the good and the bad.
So
You know
they're
what I'm saying?
they can be very enlightened souls
Mhm.
of
But
people
then
maybe who became very
Some.
enlightened that died and now serves God. Oh, we're
all I
gonna have to
know
have
that
a
it keeps saying that
discussion on the
angels created by God.
angels and
We are
I
right
like
now. What do you mean?
no their names and the type of protectors they are. That's a nice topic too. Fun
Oh, where do angels come from?
because we all
Angels
have
are,
angels that belongs to us. Different
yeah,
angels. Yeah.
if you
They're
believe
God's
in them.
army. The angels are God's army.
Yeah.
Angels are considered the lowest of the 9 orders in Christian celestial hierarchy and also appear in Islamic and Judaic tradition. See, there's an order to this.
Of
I'm
course
telling
there
you.
is. I'm saying it's a different topic.
But that's why I said like saints must be higher than angels.
Never.
It just said in
What are the
Christian
nine?
celestial hierarchy.
Okay, but
Doesn't count.
which one does saints fall on? What number the saints fall on? The angels are on the 9,
Angels are considered the lowest of the
the
9
lowest of the 9.
orders.
So
Yes,
where do saints fall? Saints probably don't even fall on that. Saints are just named by other human beings. They're not named by gods. They probably
true.
do God's work, and then we name them saints. We name them like Nair. You're not going to be an angel in heaven, but you're going to be a saint.
But I want to be an angel. I don't want to be a saint.
So be an angel now. Continue to live like an
Never.
angel now.
I am an angel.
Yeah, with your angel numbers every day of the week.
Now you're hating on my angel
You're the
numbers.
angel sent to remind me of all the times that I need to pay attention to. She's like, it must be a sign. Yes, no, it's a sign. Angels are immortal.
Yeah,
They are
that we
made of
know.
light and have wings. How cute. That's why you want to be. You just want to have wings. Right there.
No, they
It's like,
just.
just give me wings. And that light
Yeah,
is the energy I'm
you're
talking
right. They
about.
are cute.
Oh my
Oh,
God, Google's gonna get us all in trouble.
I know. Like y'all, I don't know what you guys are talking about, but it's not saying the
So
right
our
thing.
guardian
We
angels
did tell
are
them that we
there.
do not know exactly what we're talking about, but our own opinions. So
Yes,
please
we are
enlighten
not
us.
experts in religion, spirituality. We are just learning, and we're here to thrive. And we
No judgment, no judgment
we hope for your input because we know a lot of you are a lot smarter than we are when it comes to
when it
these
comes to this
things.
topic. Yeah.
Mhm.
Now I'm going really deep because it's like, how many hells are there? What are the
Okay,
7
now.
layers of
Okay,
So
heaven?
you need to stop.
again,
Are there
sisters,
animals in heaven?
Don't go too deep.
religion versus spirituality.
Now
What
she's
else can
going
we
deeper
say
into
on that?
angels. No.
Religion versus spirituality.
Well, let's
Well, I
not
think
put
an
them
angel is
against
like a
each other.
spiritual
Oh yeah,
thing.
no. Okay, versus.
They don't verse each other.
Okay,
They help each other.
religion and spirituality.
They have things in common.
How do they go together? Yes.
Spirituality
Because there's a
deals
lot of
with the soul.
spirituality in many different religions.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And there's spirituality outside of religion because spirituality deals with your spirit
Correct.
and the soul
Mhm.
and just searching for answers to, questions that people have in terms of life and death and things like that.
Overall, they're both beliefs. So
Ultimately.
it's a belief, the belief system. So you either use your religion as your belief system for you to follow, and it's like a rigid path that takes you in. And the spirituality, we're more fluent to interpret things your own way. But again, it's your belief. Like, what do you believe when you read those
Your
words?
faith, your
Yeah,
choice.
so they're basically aligned. Like I
Yeah.
feel connected with spirits,
Like human
ancestry. Like my
ancestors.
ancestors, I
Yeah.
feel the presence. I feel certain things.
You're in tune with your guardian angels.
Yeah, I
That's
hear
nice.
them. I hear them in a song. I hear them in a phrase that comes out that I'm like, oh, that's so and so that would say that to me. So I'm like, oh,
That's nice.
I see lights, the sun. There's a lot of different the
Look
way
at
that
that.
it
God loves you.
happens.
You see that, and you've seen it in everything.
I'm connected with my spiritual people, and I talk to them a lot. So
And that, you know what? I believe that's why you see them a lot.
You call on
You
them.
feel them, their presence a lot because you talk to them a lot. And I love practices that when people actually have their sacred space where they keep their ancestor pictures of their ancestors, and they give them offerings and pray to them and call on them when they
yeah, like
need
the
support,
Mexicans. Do.
you know. Or some
Like
people
the
to
Day of the
call on their
Dead and all that.
angels. They know
Yeah,
what their angels are, or they know what each angel is for. For
Or
example, if you need
saint, not angel.
protection,
Isn't it saint? You
no
saint.
angel.
no, angels.
Oh, angel.
I always think saints are in a church. Saints go up in a church. That's what saints are. You know, they go up in a church. So when we
They
think
become names of
more
churches.
religion, yeah,
Well, in
angels
Catholic,
is more
there are
spiritual.
saints that you call on.
That's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah,
you
Yeah,
can call on
you
saints for
actually
different
put there,
things.
yeah, like a statue of them and pray to that.
yeah,
So I rather call on
angels.
angels, you know, or my ancestors
Yeah, I use my
for
ancestors
guidance.
for guidance a lot.
And I think that's what makes you more spiritual person than a religious person. Because if you are
Yeah,
more of a
I
religious
understand
person,
religion and
you
I
pray to
do the
something rather
practice,
than believe
but
in the.
I wouldn't want to practice it as I gotten older. I'm like, I do certain things
You're
with my
talking about
family,
your Catholic religion
not
that you were
Catholic.
raised in.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. I
So
do it
to
with my
answer
mom.
Naiya's question, then yeah, I think I would pick a religion to follow, to practice, especially if it's one that's made around deep spirituality, with like through meditation and healing and alignment and believing in the energy and the greater force of the universe. I would follow, and as
But I
long as
feel
it
like
doesn't have
all
limitations to like
I
you're
feel
not
like
eating
all
this, you're not drinking that, or
Mhm.
you're fasting these days. One that's close enough to the spiritual thing, but doesn't have rules. Like, oh, this is a rule. You gotta do
But that's what
this.
makes it a religion though, is the rules.
Yeah, but there's got to be a religion out there that
'Cause
doesn't
that's
have rules that's written in a book.
So they do.
They
they
do all of them.
I believe in order for it to be a religion, there has to be rules. There has to be things that you have to follow that separates you from other religions and
I
other
think there should
people.
be things that you do, that you practice, but not things that are set in books that, let's say, oh, you have to believe
But here's the thing,
in Adam and Eve.
we
You
say
cannot
rules.
believe in reincarnation.
Okay,
That's what I
let
mean.
me kind of back up religion a little bit. We're saying rules, but these are practices or things that they say to do. There's reasoning behind it,
Mhm.
right? So
Mhm,
fasting, there's a reason behind it. Whether
mhm.
you're spiritual or not, there's a reason for fasting. Fasting is a good thing.
What
Abstaining,
about What about
like
rules
I was just
like
going to
you
give
can't
another
wear a
example,
skirt,
but
like you
yeah, I'm
can't wear a
sure, right?
skirt,
Yes.
or
So
you
that's
can't
why.
celebrate birthdays or things
Yep.
like
So
that?
that's
Just
another thing I wanted to talk about because to us they may seem weird or different because it's not something that we do or something that we grew up around. And you mentioned two examples: the religions where women can only wear skirts, and then Jehovah's Witness that do not celebrate birthdays and
or
other holidays
religions
that
that you
believe.
have to marry inside the religion. You can't marry
Yeah.
outside, or one of them has to
So
convert.
in terms of like I'm saying, we think they're rules, we think they're this and that, but they all have a meaning or a reason behind it. You know what I mean? Like I don't know the reason
Behind them all, yeah.
behind them all, but I did recently learn why Jehovah's Witness don't celebrate birthdays because you're born one time. You're not born every year on a specific quote unquote day. You're only born once. And why am I going to celebrate your birth if you were born 20 years ago? You've already been born. So what's the point of, not to say what's the point, like we celebrate because it's celebration of life and that person, and why not? You know what I mean? That's
Mhm.
our point of view. But people who grew up in that religion, it makes sense. And now that I understand why, it makes sense, even though I may not agree, but I understand. So I feel like the more we learn about things like that, even though they're not things we do, but things that we technically, believe in, if we understand, isn't that going to bring us all closer together? and it's
Yeah.
going to make people a little bit more compassionate and understanding towards other people rather than thinking someone's weird because they don't celebrate holidays. You understand why, and even though they don't, you know why, and that's their preference. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Now, I don't think they're rules. I just think they're a way of life, a way of believing, a way of thinking.
Well, I will find a religion that doesn't have that many ways of thinking, and it's a more free-willed type,
But
and
it's free
follow
will
that.
to think that you only
Okay,
are
maybe
born
that's not.
once. You know what I'm
No, but
saying?
it is free-willed. But you're, yeah, you
Somebody
are
taught
only
you that.
born once. I don't
That's
think.
your
I don't think
that's your
we
opinion.
celebrate our birthdays because we're being reborn every
No,
time.
I
That's
know.
not why
Like
we
I
celebrate it.
said why we
So they
celebrate,
don't.
but
They don't only celebrate it. I mean, maybe you researched it and they don't celebrate it only because you're not supposed to celebrate your birthday over and over, or it
no,
probably goes deeper than that. I don't
right,
know.
because the point of a birthday is to celebrate the day you were born.
So do
But
they
in their
celebrate when you
eyes,
die?
I don't know what that practice is, but I know from my research that to them, you are born that one day. You were born on that day. You are not born
Again and again,
again
every
and
year.
again and again.
Yeah, and
Because
then
we have this
and then
concept of
there's
time, we have a calendar, we can recognize the same day 365 days later, but it's not your day of birth. Your day of birth is this date on this year. You know what I mean? So I understand it doesn't mean that now I'm going to stop celebrating my birthday every year, but
or
I
Jesus
get it.
Christ's birthday or anything else. Yeah.
Right.
No,
I
I
get
get it.
it.
That's fine. But my thing is I would pick a religion that doesn't have that type of beliefs.
But again, who's to say that type of belief? What type of belief is that?
That specific one of like you were born once, so there's no need to celebrate. You're not allowed to celebrate.
Okay, but what if you grew
your
up
birthday.
like that?
I would grow up and decide
Change
it
your
was
mind?
not right, which
You
I
don't know
know,
that.
which
So you're not
Man,
gonna
most
follow
of
a
my
wait till
religion.
you
friends.
reincarnate and
Yeah.
then you'll know exactly
What?
how you don't know if you were raised that way, that when you're 20, 30 years old, you're going to change and start celebrating your birthday. You don't know that.
I don't, but I know a lot of people born in that religion that right now don't no longer practice as soon as they could step
I know a
away
lot
from
of
it.
people in that religion that are still in that religion that
And
are
I know
older than
people
me.
that were born that was raised a different that grew up and went into the specific religion. So
Right.
it
Yeah.
really doesn't.
It's different for
It's
everybody.
what you choose. So I'm gonna say the one last time. I will choose one that I don't have to make those types of choices, like change the way you dress and you have to go repent in the thing. You will be forgiven if you repent. Or if you go to church, don't eat the altar because you're not baptized. You can't do this because you're not baptized. Like those
It's
are
very restrictive.
religion, very restricted religion would not be one for me.
So do you know of one that's more freer, more open, I guess?
Buddhism.
Yeah, that's what I'm
But
thinking
then again,
too.
I haven't gone that deep, so I
Right.
don't know if there are things that are restricted or that are not. But or the difference between Hinduism and Buddhism. And can you
That's
read
your
some
homework.
names? Who has names of you? Always
Didn't
like
she?
giving
Didn't
me homework. She said 18, but she did
Claudia
read them.
pulled up 18 world
Their
religion, right?
It's a lot of homework.
Yo, she spent this whole time we've been talking reading. That girl got mad information. She's holding out.
But I am very fortunate to be raised in a family that followed the Christian rationalism, because it's the word in itself. It's Christian because we believe in Jesus Christ, right? That's our God. And then rationalism, just because it tells you need to be very cautious of your thoughts and what you do, your actions in this earth to live a good life. There's got to be that balance. It's big on the balance of your body, mind, and soul. So I, again, feel very fortunate too. And actually haven't been doing my meditations or haven't been reading, haven't been in my doctrine as much as I should be, but I'm sticking to it for now.
You haven't been doing those things?
Well, so sound-wise, Christian, not so much. I do it on my own, but they do have, for example, again, the collective that comes together, the specific times of doing. I haven't been following it in that way. I'm saying like my mom does,
Okay.
And and it tells you you're supposed to keep on reading, keep on learning,
So Google tells me there's 12 main religions in the world, but there
Mhm.
are over 4,000 recognized religions in the world.
So
And
long.
but they include, but it says it include like congregations, churches, faith groups, tribes, cultures,
Mhm.
and movements, all categorized under quote unquote religion. Because again, like you were talking about the Native Americans, I don't think they would call themselves a religion. It's more like a culture, but they have practices that are very similar to other religions, such as like, other religions, more known religions like
Spiritual.
Christianity and things like that. But of the 12 that is mentioned in this article, the ones that I
Mhm.
recognize are Christianity, Buddhism, Islam, Hinduism. That's it. The others I do not recognize. So that's my homework right there, is to
Okay, see,
read
and
more.
when I was saying Catholic and this, and then we can basically just say, I guess, Christianity, right? They all fall
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's
within
the
that
umbrella.
umbrella.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah. Interesting. Oh, Taoism. I've heard about them, but I've never like dug deep into it. And then
Taoism?
So
Taoism or Taoism,
Oh,
I don't know
okay.
if I'm saying it right.
Maybe Tao.
Taoi. And then Confucianism.
I
Confucianism.
think that's the religion I'm in right now. Very Confucius. I'm just kidding.
Very
I need to
confused.
stop. What
confused.
religion are you? Confucianism.
Confucianism.
And again, we
Forgive
want
us.
to just say that we don't
We don't know
mean
nothing.
we don't know what we're saying. We don't mean any harm. If we're
Yes.
making jokes, it's not any what is the word?
Please
No
don't bash us.
discrimination. We're not bashing anything. We're just laughing at ourselves because we're just so like ignorant to this topic. And again, we're always trying to thrive. We named this podcast Shut Up and Thrive because, we want you guys, our audience, to thrive, but we're also thriving every time we have these conversations because look, it's opening all these doors and questions for us to like take away and, research and learn more about. And who knows, in a month or so, we might come back and say, hey, we learned all these great things. Let's share with our audience. So, we're joking, but that's just us. We just be joking.
If
We
Amen.
you've
don't mean
listened
no
to us in
harm.
the past, you know that we joke a lot and we laugh a lot. It's part of our routine. So
We're
don't
just
come on
making
here
fun
and
of
start some
ourselves.
hate messages because we're not spreading hate. We're spreading love. If you don't like us, please unsubscribe.
Here
Thank
comes
you.
Claudia shutting down the haters. She's shutting the
Shutting it
haters
down, man,
down. Shut it
because I
down,
know
girl.
when I don't like something, I just don't listen to them again. I don't have time to come sit here and take an hour to write, I hate your podcast, because there's no need for you to do that. So please,
Yes, I
love my
can't wait.
audiences,
I
the
can't
ones
wait
who
for the
love us,
haters.
who have
Bring on the
something good
haters.
to
Yeah.
say.
Bring on the haters. I got Claudia in my corner, yo. She's in my corner. Bring the haters on.
Don't take offense, but I'm gonna keep it real because that's how it is. I keep it real. You ain't got nothing nice to say, move on over. Somebody else got something nice to say to us. And forgive us if we've offended you, but let's
Yeah, no
thrive.
offense. We are here to learn
No
and we
offense.
welcome
And a cute,
anything that can help us thrive.
Yeah, definitely.
that's right.
Definitely
And a
hear it.
cute line from my favorite book, from my doctrine. It says, let everyone carry out his duty, focusing his attention, his eyes, his soul, all on the main goal of incarnation, which is spiritual improvement and evolution, mindless of whatever or not other people are so doing their duty.
That's right. Preach.
Preach, preach.
Amen.
Amen.
Anything else we want to talk about religion and spirituality?
Nah, I think we just scared everybody away, girl.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
No,
Just
they know. They
kidding.
know what we're talking about because I'm pretty sure they've experienced it themselves.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is fun and loving, thriving. I want to know more about angels and saints now.
Seriously.
What
Somebody
are the
clarify
different-
that for us.
I'm gonna go to Sunday church and be like, Pastor,
I have a
conversation.
I need to confess. What is it, my child? I don't know the
I don't know.
difference between.
An angel and a saint.
For that, your punishment is I will not tell you. You need to go do.
Go read the Bible.
Go read the Bible and figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Oh man. Well, this has been fun, ladies. I didn't know it was gonna be this fun, but it ended up being very fun for me.
It
Yeah,
is. It's
very
fun when we
interesting.
learn.
Yes, love learning.
And my thriving point would be that everyone needs to, well, everyone should pick a journey, right? Okay, let me find my thing here. All right. To follow a pattern of behavior in which is identified with an educational system based on high moral principles. So religion or spirituality or intertwined, I think that's saying that our purpose should be to pick a path, pick a pattern of behaviors that teaches us to become a better soul, right? A better person, like a system based on high moral principles that helps us reach enlightenment. That's what I want to reach. So on to you ladies now. What's your thriving takeaway from today's chat?
I'm taking away a lot of questions.
I wrote down a lot of questions.
Lots of questions. Yeah, so I'm taking away more questions than I am answers or suggestions. So this has been a learning for me. But yeah, just to be open to know that other people have other beliefs systems out there and to be accepting of everyone and to let everybody, explore and ask questions and change their minds if they decide they don't want to do this or believe in this and not be judgmental. So just really follow and not follow, but like really take to heart what religion teaches us. Ultimately, it's all for us to have a way of living with each other and to be compassionate and loving towards others. Yes.
Amen.
Claudia.
How about you, baby girl?
Yeah. Questions. A lot of questions. But I don't know, how can I say it differently than what you guys have said? Again, align yourself with something that you believe in. Your belief comes from many different things in your life. So again, be open-minded to other people's belief and other people's practice. Respect it, understand it, and learn from it. It might teach you something. It might not be something you want to fully practice on, but it'll give you a different output, views on certain people's life and in your life that you can interpret it into that. It's a belief system that you interpret it the way that you want. And yeah, explore, have fun with it. Nothing should be serious in life. Seriously, it can be gone in like 2 seconds. So enjoy
True.
yourselves.
Yay.
I got questions for days.
Yeah, as humans, with ignorance is
Inquisitive.
easy, so we will learn.
Yeah, I'll be looking for some books
Yeah, we
besides
didn't
the
have a
Bible.
book. Yeah.
Should I put my book out there?
Yeah,
Sure, why not?
It's called Christian Rationalism. I shouldn't be doing this
First
again.
edition.
What?
Why
because
not?
it's a doctrine that really doesn't.
Promote itself like that.
Yeah,
But you can buy it.
but you can tell your friends. Yes. So the first edition was written in 1984. At least this specific book. It's not a Bible, so there's many books. This is just my quick reference book to when I have spiritual questions or other questions, and I turn to it. Questions like the spirit or thought, free will, the aura, evolution, courage, character, the family. I turn to this nice book.
All right, thank you for
Sounds
sharing.
good.
Something I'll look into.
I have 2 copies if you guys want to read one. Were you
Yeah.
looking for something to read?
I'm looking for something to read.
Okay,
I just finished my book
I'll
too.
share the other copy, the older copy.
Oh, why do I get the older one, not the new one?
Because every time I let you use the book, it never comes back to me.
What
So
are you talking about?
remember back in the day? Nope,
Back
I
in
don't-
the day,
I no longer
yes.
lend my books because I never get it back.
I've lent.
Between books and CDs,
Yes.
I learned my
yes.
lesson. It
Me
is
too.
never coming back to even albums. And it's funny, the person who I said would be great that I should have questioned him before our topic. You have my album. You know who you are. My picture album. I want it back.
I can't. All right, let's wrap it up, ladies. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Don't
look
forget
at-
to follow
Sorry,
us.
real quick.
Oh,
I know. No, I'm
interrupt by
sorry.
closing.
Yo, it's so fun. I just opened real quick and it says, such stout spirits like Jesus, Buddha, Confucius, and
Yay!
Muhammad,
Ooh.
however, besides not being understood, ended up defied by the illiterate masses.
That's very true.
Isn't that cool? Because the
Mhm.
Confucius must have
There
been,
you
he
go.
must have been a god. Well, he is a god.
Yes.
And that's a whole religion. Okay, Confucius.
Look at that. Learn something new.
I'm sorry you learned so much with this. So, yeah.
Yep.
cool.
I hope
And now
y'all
you
have
with the
thrived with
closing.
us.
Okay, Claudia
Well,
with the
what'd
closing.
she say?
So I was like, I hope our audience have thrived with us, and
I'm sure they have.
we're definitely trying to thrive in the midst of this conversation. So thank you for listening. Follow us on all our social media. Like,
Subscribe on all your
subscribe. Yep.
podcast platform, streaming platforms.
What's with the neck?
I don't know.
Do it. Do it. Yep.
I don't know. But yeah,
Connect with
thanks
us.
for
We'd want to hear from
listening.
you. Thanks. Whoop,
See
whoop.
you next week.